We're back. We're talking Group 1 racing, futures markets. We're big futures guys. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. Big futures guys. Talking some futures markets for March. And tell you what, mate, you looked at it just before. You're like, holy shit, there's a few to get through.
Bit on.
So let's not dilly-dally. Let's go to the 2nd March, Randwick. The VE Stakes, the Very Elleegant Stakes. Once was the Chipping Norton. This should be relatively straightforward, right? So 11 of the last 13 winners have come through the Apollo. The last 3-year-old to win the race was in 2007. Fangirl's the obvious.
Yeah, she's $1.80 with Neds at the moment. For a good reason. She probably starts shorter, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is right up her alley. And if she's against the same opposition as she was in the Apollo, how do they beat her?
I don't see them beating her. The only thing is, like, the way I thought about it, that potentially the way you could play it is if there was a wet track, like, all right, who comes into calculations there? Like, think it over.
Buckaroo,
yeah, but potentially even someone like Cascadian, he could bounce back, and he's like the biggest odds. He's $26. So.
Yeah, and I'm looking at some of the larger prices in the market, and there's nothing really that screams out to me as being, that's a nice futures bet. Like, you've got Valiant King, who didn't race in the Melbourne Cup, who's $26. Like Arapahoe's 50s, who your Mal's 50s. I think he'll be in for a pretty good prep from what I've heard, but not a good enough prep to win this.
No, and he needs to do it. I think Huya.
Sure does.
So Fangirl's the obvious there. The Australian Guineas, so 1,600 metres Group 3 for the Group 1 rather for the 3-year-olds over the mile. 2nd of March, so 24 of the last 37 winners have been $5.50 or shorter. So 27, so basically 66%, $5.50 or shorter in the last 37 years. Now, this race is at Flemington. And Riff Rocket is a Flemington horse if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I hope he wins this comfortably, and I hope they take him to an Australian Cup.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, if they do that, because, like you said, he's a Flemington horse, and Chris Waller will have things in the Ranvet up here, up in Sydney. He'll have things in the Queen Elizabeth. Keep this horse separate. He can win that.
Yeah. I could see Chris Waller targeting the way he plays it, right? So the Queen Elizabeth, he's targeting Fangirl towards that. For something like the Ranvet, I could see him targeting someone like Kovalika towards that, and then this horse for that. Yeah. And mate, I texted you about this yesterday, but we were saying this on Sunday that the Australia Cup, tell you what, that's a race for this horse. He was $26 in that market, and he's already come into, we'll touch on it soon, but I think $11.
Yeah.
So who's the fool for not jumping on that? But if Riff Rocket wasn't to win this, is there anything that really takes your breath away from the rest of these?
Oh, King Colorado could upset, I think.
$4.40.
Yeah, but $4.40 for him, Riff Rocket pulled his pants down, I think.
Yeah.
You mentioned Celestial Legend in this week's podcast. If it comes out and wins the Hobartsville, but
it's probably going
to go to the Randwick Guineas. So for those horses down in Melbourne, I think we saw them last start, whatever race that was, the CS Hayes. So if the same crop lines up again, plus probably V8, V8 for me is a 1,400 metre horse.
Yeah, you can have him at $7. Oof.
So yeah, I think that's a clear Riff Rocket bet.
Flemington can be leaderish in the circle races. Verdad could potentially be that one on speed at $10.
He raced well.
He was very good. Son of Justify. So he's the one. If you want one at a massive price though, someone like Wolfie, who showed a little bit in his first prep, didn't get up to the lofty heights of Group 1 glory in the spring, but he resumes in the Zedatives this weekend. So I think he's one I've got an eye on at $51. Like, you could potentially have a little something there, but that's a big spec bet. Quickster as well, like he's a decent horse too, but I don't know where he's at in his prep. So that's the way I'd be playing it.
Yep.
All right, let's have a look at the next one on the 2nd of March is the Surround Stakes. So 9 of the 14 winners have come through the light fingers, learning to fly at $4. She's the obvious bet, right?
She is. I thought she was absolutely phenomenal first up. Kamachi was good too, but I've watched the replay a few times now, and learning to fly is the pony for me. She's just got something under the hood, mate.
You know the connection sold her after on the Sunday, Kamachi?
Kidding?
No. So I reckon that was the grand final. They're like, yep, thanks. We got our money and we're getting out of the casino. Isn't that interesting?
That is bizarre.
Yeah.
Unless they got offered big money.
Like she'd be a 7-figure filly for sure. Mate, she's the amount of black type she has on her resume is sickening.
Oh, look, if she wasn't, she would be if she won this easily.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. I wonder who they sold her to. Do you know?
Not sure.
Maybe she's going to rock up in some green silks next start. Who's Kamachi out of?
Japanese has to be.
Maurice? Brave Smash?
Let's have a look. Kai Mochi. Brave Smash. So out of a Summer Fun Dam, and who's a I'm Invincible mare.
So the damn Summer Fun, and she's by I'm Invincible. Okay.
Yeah.
Learning to fly is out to justify. Someone in that market at $12 is interesting. Is Estriella?
Yeah, I thought that too. 100%.
So whether she runs in this, I'm not sure.
I was looking at this very similar to you. It's like out of that Light Fingers, Learning to Fly is the only one I want to take.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 other form references that I think could give it a shake. Macarena is the other one.
Yep.
She was brilliant against the boys first up. Just got too far back. She ran on really, really nicely. And, against her own sex, I think she'll be really competitive. But Estrella is the other one. She was dominant.
She was great. And Kieran Maher was glowing of her. The other one in the market is Rolling High, who comfortably put him away Cup week prior to, what's that race?
1,000
Guineas. So Rolling High, she's at 9s though, so you're not even getting that good of a price for her. But interesting race to surround. Learning to fly for me.
Don't know where she's at. Rolling High
no idea. No idea.
Yeah, a bit too much of a spec for me. Randwick Guineas. So another 3-year-old mile race just a week later, and honestly, just have one. Militarize. He's the best miler in Sydney. $3.80. Fair price?
Yeah, I think so. Like I think Chris Waller, I said it on the review podcast last week, after his run in the Apollo, Chris Waller would be absolutely wrapped with how he came back. Out to a mile. Bless you, son. Maybe a wet deck.
Yeah.
Against his own age. Like he's the no-brainer for me. We'll see what happens this weekend in the Hobartsville Stakes, but he's the one who's always been head and shoulders above his age group.
Yeah. I think Kitty Cat Tom, I don't think there's as wide a gap between those two as initially thought.
Yeah.
I think Tom Kitten's pretty smart, but at the mile, any further than the mile, I'm team Kitty Cat. But at the mile, I'm team Militarize.
It could be a race, honestly, where if Kitty Cat Tom draws 3 and Militarize draws the car park, it could be one of those races.
Yeah, it could be. But Kitty Cat, he can run on a bit.
We like Kitty Cat on this podcast, though.
We do.
Yeah. Just so you know, Drifters, we like Kitty Cat.
It's just he's awfully short.
Yeah, he just because he's a good horse. He comes up short,
Yeah.
I like Kitty Cat Tom for 2,000 metres, and I want to see him run on as a 4-year-old.
Yes, I agree with that. Street Boss Colt.
Yep. Take him to the Cox Plate, Caulfield Cup as well.
Street Boss Colt? Have I got that right?
No, Kitty Cat Tom's out of Harry Angel.
That's right. Apologies.
But I think he might be out of a Street Boss mare or a Street Cora mare. Not 100% sure, though.
There you go. So, there you go. Now, the Newmarket. This is a market we can sink our teeth into, I reckon. So, Newmarket. So, favourites have not had a good record in the race. Haylist, good horse.
Very good.
He was the last favourite to win the race in 2012. And only one horse has won this race first up. Do you remember who it was?
First up. Was it Zutori?
No. It was Red Kirk Warrior.
Oh, that's right.
Back to back, I think he went as well.
Yeah.
I reckon he was first up with 58 kilos. I think he was the top weight too.
Jeez, that's not bad.
What a performance. I think that was his last ever win. I thought this market was fascinating. This is a market I could get around.
This is a good market.
So Espiona, $6. And I want to get this right because he's given us another Brad Tyson. No dads. So he's like, he said that he sent this through today. Great points again on the potty, boys. I'm hearing Espiona to Royal Ascot. Now, there'd only be one race that they're targeting, the King's Stand. I'll be there representing this podcast.
Yep, as a business trip.
Yeah. So I'm all about that. She's up to this in her eyeballs, Espiona.
She was like
breathtaking.
That return was way better than you could have expected. And I've gone back and looked at the race a couple of times, particularly around the sort of sectionals. Just, I think, in my own mind, to add more merit to Imperatrice's victory. But it actually adds probably even more merit to Espiona's performance because she rattled home off a sedate pace.
Yeah. Yep.
So for me, in a Newmarket Handicap, big field, there's going to be more natural pace. 1,200 metres is going to be even more upper alley. $6 for her is absolutely jam. I don't know what weight she'll get though, because she's won in Group 1 and she's obviously won some other black type, like 54, 55.
So this is the way I looked at it, right? Who would you prefer out of the two? Espiona or Magic Time? Both Group 1 winners. They'll probably both have around the same weight.
Espiona.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Espiona for this specific race up the Flemington Straight over 1,200 metres.
Yeah.
We both have a big opinion of Magic Time, but at equal weights, just with Magic Time's a 4-year-old as well, so Espiona's had another year to furnish, and just we've seen her first up as well, like we've seen it.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's the one for me in that sort of single figures sort of type area. But is there any others at a bigger price that you're looking at and you're getting slightly excited and hot and bothered?
I found a couple. I thought Af Cabin was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you see his trial the other day?
Yeah.
Oof, that was good. And
Yeah.
I've been a big criticizer of Godolphin about that horse because they've trained him the wrong way.
He's a sprinter.
He's a sprinter.
He's a 1,200 metre horse.
Yeah.
And he'll have no weight in this.
Yeah.
So Af Cabin was the one I identified at $13 at the moment with Ned's. Hawaii 5-0 is another one at 15s. You know, no, more time off. That stable.
Heard nothing about that horse.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming
Which I don't mind.
I'm assuming they're going towards a TJ with him because he ran the Everest. I'm assuming that, but I'd even prefer him to something like Canterbury Stakes, 1,300 metres.
All aged.
Yeah.
End of the carnival, 1,400 metres.
Yeah.
What we can be guilty of, and the Everest is to blame for this, and this isn't a criticism of the Everest at all, but what it can do is pump up the tyres of horses who actually aren't that good.
Yeah.
So Hawaii 5-0 runs well in a Stradbroke, runs well resuming, and then all of a sudden he's in the Everest and therefore starts favourite in a Golden Eagle and therefore. And it's like, well, the only reason why he was in the Everest is because people need to put a horse in their slot.
Yeah.
And they're putting horses like Hawaii 5-0 in based purely on potential because he hadn't done anything up until that point.
Yeah.
But really, like he'd won up in Brisbane. I think he won a Hawkesbury Guineas or something like that over 1,400 metres. So, but for him, lightweight, 1,200, Flemington Straight, $15. That to me is a better bet than, you know, a favourite in the Golden Eagle because neither of us were keen on him in that race.
I thought it was utter madness.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I ran a good race in the Everest, but totally different setup.
Different.
In the 1,500 metre Golden Eagle. Yeah. Newmarket suits him. Tell you what, someone is listening to this podcast because we mentioned Sunshine in Paris at $51. She's into $26 now.
Is she?
But again, I've tried looking for an update on this filly. I cannot find one. I have a feeling if she's resuming something and just looking at the market as they currently sit, I think she's the more favoured runner in the Galaxy. 1,100 metres kicking off point handicap. I think that's probably where she's starting.
Okay.
So
she'd be going to a TJ, I presume.
Yeah.
And she's a horse who, you know,
She won 1,400 metres around.
all aged as well. Geez, love to see her up here in the Sunshine State.
Oh, yeah.
Stradbroke Handicap.
She's a bet in that. All right. But yeah, they're the main ones. I think, you know, King's Gambit at 15s if he comes out and brains them in the Oakley Plate.
100%. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you take him to the Newmarket? Yeah.
It's interesting.
Well said.
Yeah. All right, let's have a look at the Canterbury Stakes. Only one winner has been over the odds of $6.50 since 2003. That was Mizzy a couple of years ago at $71. I think that was a bog track that day.
Yeah, it was. Yep.
Now, I believe the stable hasn't locked this in, but I'm pretty sure this is the next step for Imperatriz in her prep. Oh, is it this or the William Reid?
William Reid.
Now, no, it has to be this though, doesn't it? 9th of March. And when's the William Reid? It's 2 weeks after this, right? Yeah, it is.
That's why they're thinking about the Newmarket Handicap for Imperatriz.
Right, okay.
So they're thinking Newmarket Handicap as the toppy into the William Reid, into the TJ Smith. Because TJ's the grand final. So I don't think they'd take her 13 back to 12.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd do that.
Okay, all right. So at $2.80, she's the favourite there. With Think About It though. Now Think About It is confirmed to kick off his campaign here, but he's been trained like a miler, 2,000 metre horse. Like, are we diving into that price for him? It's tough, isn't it?
Tough. For me, it's about the opposition, right? So I'm looking through this market, and there's nothing else in this market that I'd probably take over him, because first up over 1,300 metres, there's no reason why he can't put in a performance that is better.
Yeah.
Than these. And based on Jack Pride and what he's been saying about this horse, Joseph Price, sorry, my mistake. What he's been saying is, you know, I might get this horse out at 2,000 metres. Okay, yeah, so therefore he'll be looking for further, you would think. But I'm thinking in a different way. I'm thinking what we've seen from him so far is a horse who's brilliant enough to put him away in an Everest, but might actually be better out to 1,600 metres. And that's a scary thought, Daniel.
That's best horse in the country sort of vibes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like if Winks was trained as a sprinter.
Well, who was
like Winks would have won an Everest if she was trained as a sprinter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who was the... Oh, you know how I said on Sunday in the review podcast about Riff Rocket winning the Derby, and he was the first horse to win the CS Hayes in 30 years. The horse that actually did it, he's like one of the greats. I forget who it is, but he won the Derby, and then he won 1 or 2 Lightning Stakes, that horse.
Oh, wasn't bloody Manicato, was it?
No.
Not Manicato.
Like Mahogany, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, it's like that's the type of areas I feel like we could get to with that horse, right? He's obviously not going to get out to the 2,400 or 2,500, but 2,000 meters, that's training him totally different. He's got the progeny to do it. So or the breeding rather to do it. It's fascinating.
On both sides.
$15 Coal Crusher. That was a good return by him on the weekend, and he needs a bit of racing to show his best. He absolutely brained King of Sparta, who's the second coming at the moment. So I could see him running at least a place in this race, Coal Crusher. I think he's really furnished into a consistent like Group 2 grade type of sprinter.
Yep, well found. One who I found interesting looking at this market earlier today was Berkshire's Shadow. I was like, who is this horse? $15. Aussie Bloodstock purchase from the UK. So with Kieran Maher.
You can have it.
Oh, 100% you can have it. But I was like, who is this? Who is this pony? So a grey horse with the Aussie Bloodstock silk. So that's who that horse is if you're looking in futures markets. Drifters just as an FYI.
Yeah.
Other horses in this market who I think are decent prices. Alentia, she was great resuming. She's $34 at the moment. Vienna Princess, if she wins really well this weekend, she's 34s. But again, like They're a big price,
They won't be going there.
but they probably won't be going here.
Like a week later is the Coolmore Classic, and they'll both be favoured runners.
100%.
Yep. We have to do it. The All-Star Mile, 1,600 metre weight for age on the 16th of March. Now, the win and you're in races, because I know there's been a bit of conjecture about this, so I'm going to clear this up for you all right now. The Rupert Clark, Magic Time, got that slot. Magic Millions 3-year-old Classic. Now, that was the Sydney Bowler debacle race at the Gold Coast, where it ran about an hour late. Abounding was the classiest, or one of the most well-raced horses there, so that got the job done. I don't think Abounding is going to be featuring in this field. The Karaka Million 3-year-old Classic, Orchestral. Now, I doubt she would be going to this. They've got eyes on the Vinery and the Vinery only. The Elston Park Ayatoa Aurora. No, I've fucked that up. Classic, Desert Lightning. So this was the horse that in the Orange Silks that beat Legato when she got rolled at $1.20. The CF4, so Brightside's in there. The Futurity, so Brightside will get another slot. The Australian Guineas, so you think of your Riff Rockets or your King Colorados. The Blamey, unsure. It's Mr. Brightside back to back.
Hand it to Mr. Brightside. Stupid race.
You know, there's one that if Mr. Brightside was to have a flat day, have you heard anything about Pinstripe, your old mate?
No, I haven't. But he was pretty good in the spring, wasn't he?
He was good.
But he's a rung below.
Yeah, but at the mile, that's his sweet spot. 2,000 metres. Like, he ran at Cox Plate, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Why?
Because he won that.
I know, but why?
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Geez, he was a get out of the casino for me.
Yeah, you did well.
It was a good get out of the casino.
You did very well. All right. Now, the Coolmore Classic. This is one of the better markets, in my opinion. 1,500 metre handicap Group 1 race for the fillies and mares, 16th of March. 3-year-old fillies have won 8 of the last 30 editions, so I'd say that's pretty even. Only 2 favourites have won the race in the last 20 years, so that pricks my ears right up. 32 of the last 39 winners have finished in the top 4 in their lead-up runs. So you're basically wanting something at double figures that is there or thereabouts in their lead-up run, right?
Yep.
Alentia at $9 is interesting to me.
Yeah, she is. And she'll get in with a nice weight because it's a handicap, right? So Alentia, I think, is the one at $9 that creates a lot of interest. Zoo Gotcha, if she shows that she's back to her best, as a Group 1 winner, though, she'll probably be carrying a bit of weight. But 1,500 metres against the girls, that's her sort of gravy.
Bit of cut in the ground.
Yep. I think that's her sort of gravy. 3-year-olds, we've already been talking about them, right? So learning to fly, Komochi, all that sort of stuff. Like, will they go here? I don't know. But you would imagine they'll be in there. Is there anything at a big price that you like the look of for this?
I didn't mind the look of Arctic Glamour, $15. I don't know. I think there's something about her. Like, she can run on a bit, but $15 is a big price for her. Like, Magic Time's heading towards the All-Star Mile, so she won't really be having a run here either. I thought the other one, there's 2 at $26 that I thought were big prices. The first one is my old mate, Hope in Your Heart.
Yep.
Wet track. She comes right into it. I think she ran 4th in the race last year on a good 4.
She's injured at the moment.
Well, why is she in the market?
She might be coming back for the autumn, but she might be retired as well.
Well, irrelevant then.
Yeah.
So thank you for that update.
That's right.
Come on, Neds, be better, please. Jolly Star, $26.
Yes. Roots is $26 as well.
Yeah.
Handicap race, 1,500 metres against the girls.
Yeah.
I
was keen on her in the Empire Rose. That was a race.
Wishlaw Lass is at 51s. She pulled up lame, obviously, on the weekend, but she's got some time to bounce back. Madame Pomery's 51s.
Yeah, she was the other one. Like Vienna Princess at 26s. Madame Pommery at 51s. If it is a wet autumn again, she's the one for me. $51. That's a big price, but I think there's a few in here at a big price that you can play around.
Yep.
Like Autumn Angel, like I don't know where she's going, but there's plenty of options here.
Heaps.
Now, the Ranvet Stakes, 2,000 metres, weight for age on the 23rd of March. Now, this is like one of the best days of Group 1 racing for the year. 13 of the last 18 winners have finished first or second in their lead-up run. So 10 favourites have won the last 18 editions. Now, there is a William Haggis-trained horse here, which has to be respected. Not 100% across the horse's form, Mujaba. So apparently, this horse is an absolute swimmer. Like, will absolutely eat it up. I think that's why they brought it over here. But it also looks short in the market to me. So it's a complete spec back.
Yeah, absolutely. Our weight for age stocks when you get out to 2,000 metres are so thin.
That's why we need a horse like Kovalika to win this race.
Yeah, Kovalika can win this race. He's at 10s. I want him to have a good autumn. I really do.
Well, the thing is like, I would be expecting him to kick off his campaign around this time now. Like, where is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes me think that they're heading towards a Doncaster again. And it's like, what are you doing?
I think he's trialling this week or has trialled. But no, you're right. He's been mishandled, Kovalika. I'll say that much. Buckaroo, if it's a wet deck, definitely. Jewis, at 15s.
Zaki's a big price, 15s as well.
Yeah, he's a big price. But no, I go down the list and there's nothing that really creates a lot of interest, is there?
I think I got as far as Kovalika at 10s because I think I've settled my fate that he's not going to the Australia Cup, unfortunately. What else have we got? We have the next race we'll look at is the Galaxy. So this is a decent market, 1,100 metre handicap, the 23rd of March. So there's only been 2 last start winners since 1995. So I think you want to find the ones that are avoiding the handicapper in the lead up. This was an interesting market, and I think I'll definitely have one here that you will like as well. Passive Aggressive. She's a big price at $34.
Yeah, she is a big price. Passive Aggressive. I thought we would have seen her in the Lightning, but maybe they are saving her for something like this. So she's one that I circled for sure. Remarks at 26s.
Yeah, he's the other one.
100 metres too much for him. So yeah, they're the ones at a big price that I could see myself speccing into. Yeah, and then the ones short in the market, I'm a bit like, well, they're not short, but like Osmosis. Yeah, he's a Coolmore winner, but therefore he'll carry a bit of weight as a 3-year-old in this. So I think he's going towards a TJ. He's a favourite, so a little bit gross. Who knows where In Secret's at?
Oh, yeah, if you're taking a bet for her, that's sickening sort of stuff. Like, please. There's better chances than that, surely. Like, as for this is probably the backup if she doesn't win the Oakley Plate. You probably say the same for Uncommon James, to be honest. I keep coming back to Sunshine Paris in every bloody sprint I look at. Like, that's where I think this is the biggest push that she's heading to this race because it's the shortest price of all of them. So it's like the bookies aren't dumb.
No.
Like, they'd have a better idea than us. So $13 for her, that's playable. That's playable for me. But the other two that you mentioned, Passive Aggressive in Remark, absolutely. Airman at $34.
Yeah, they're the ones for a handicap market. They're the ones if you want to have a futures play drifters that I'd be steering you into.
Absolutely. All right, let's do it. The big dance, the Golden Slipper. Now, there's only really 2 ways that you can play this market. You think that Storm Boy is overs at $3. He's come back out. He was $2.80 during the week. He's come back out to $3. You play him at $3 or you try and find something to beat him.
Yeah. Look, I'd love it to have a ticket at 28s.
Thanks.
I as it stands right now, I think $3 is a gift for him. Because he's
wild, isn't
because if he comes out and wins his next race by more than a length, like he'll start shorter than $3, surely.
Yeah.
If he goes down in his next race, I'm the dickhead. But I think, mate, like, and it gets me so excited. I'm going to hype it up because sometimes in this game you just need to. But we could sit back. I hope he races on as a 3-year-old as well. We could sit back and be like, oh yeah, Stormboy is one of the best horses we've ever seen on Australian soil.
Yeah.
And I want that. Therefore, I want him to brain him in the slipper.
Yep.
I want that.
Yep. That's a good take. I like that take. Now, I feel like if you are that type of sicko that wants to have something at a bit like higher odds, the way to play it this weekend is straight charge. $2.60 or $2.40 favourite at this stage in that in the silver slipper. It's $26. If he wins that, he'll be around that $17, $15 or so. 13's possibly. Like Espionage is half the price, and they're the same price on the weekend. That's the way I'd probably play it this weekend. But you know who this is giving me vibes of? Cherry Tortoni heading into the Victoria Derby. So he won that race at Morphettville, Moonee Valley rather, and he was, I think he started second favourite behind Young Werter in that Derby.
Yep.
But he was like $15 in the Derby. Bet him on him there for then in that race, and then you don't have to bet on him on the day because he'll be a quarter of the price.
100%, yeah. Well, to that end, Drifters, if you're listening to this prior to the Blue Diamond, if you're really, really keen on something in the Blue Diamond, if you're keen on a Coleman, if you're keen on a Lady of Camelot,
well said,
or an Anisa or something like that, high octane, he's 21. So if you're keen on them, if you want to try and get Stormboy beat, it is hard to win a diamond and then to win a slipper, definitely. But this is a good crop, right?
Yeah.
So context is everything. If you're really keen, play that way.
Well said, mate. God, I'll keep you around, I reckon.
I'm smarter than I look.
Rosehill Guineas, 2,000 metres for the 3-year-olds on the 23rd of March. 5 of the last 14 winners were a last start winner. Kitty Cat Tom, he's the bet for me.
Kitty Cat Tom is the bet.
Yeah. Are you thinking that over the 2,000 metres he's the best of them?
Yeah, because you probably wanted to see more from Militarise in the Cox Plate, right? If you Militarise did an Animo as a 3-year-old and nearly wins, he'd be $2 here, right?
Yeah,
but he didn't.
Even if he runs a place,
yeah,
like Castelvecchio style.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a silly price in this race, wasn't he, Castelvecchio?
Yeah, I think it was $10.
I couldn't,
because mate,
we dived in, didn't we?
I think so,
yeah.
Because he could play up a bit, Castel, and I think he put in an absolute mug run first up, and they're like, oh, he's done.
But let a 2,000 metre horse get out to 2,000 metres before you judge him.
Well said.
Kitty Cat Tom.
Yeah.
So he's the bet at this stage, and I'm hoping that Riff Rocket doesn't go here. He stays down in Flemington, which if he picks up the Australian Guineas, another Group 1, why would you take him up here? Yeah. Especially when Chris Waller trains the horse that could very well win, Militarise. Separate them.
Mate, you couldn't have said it better, because that's exactly how they'll play it. It's like they're not going to endanger Militarise losing another Group 1 with Riff Rocket stealing it off him.
Particularly when Riff Rocket doesn't have his nuts.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Take him to the Australia Cup. No, Flemington, he loves the track. But Riff Rocket's win in that midweek against Craig's horse. Snowman, where
Snowman's beat him home.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But Riff Rocket, I think he just relishes his Melbourne leg.
Yeah.
Like, keep him down there.
Keep him down there. And the consequences for Riff Rocket running second to Militarise versus Militarise running second to Riff Rocket in a race like this, massive consequences.
Yes.
If Riff Rocket's still at his nuts, completely different gravy.
Oh, it's all is fair in love and war.
It is 100%. So yeah, I want to see a battle. I want to see Tommy Kitten, Kitty Cat Tom versus Militarize. And you know, I want to see them both race on as 4-year-olds.
Yeah, that's all I want.
That's all I want.
I don't get why the likes of Orchestral and all the other fillies are in this field.
Oh, silly.
This market. It does make sense. Because they will be going to the Vinery.
Yep.
So where am I? The George Ryder. Now this is pretty basic, this market. Where am I? Hold on. 1,500 meters, weight for age. Did I have any stats for this one? In 25 years, only one horse has come off a lead-up run worse than finishing fourth the run prior. So, Fangirl at $2.40, backable. She'll likely think about it for the first time, though.
Fascinating. If you're getting a good track, I don't think anything beats her. 1,500 meters, mate. Think about it. There's that unknown quantity with him as to whether he's a sprinter or a miler. $2.50 in retrospect could be a gift on the day.
Yeah,
could be an absolute gift.
Because think about it, this will be his lead up run into a Doncaster, and this will be Fangirl's lead up run into the Queen Elizabeth. So, the other horses here, like I'm seeing, like the more I did this, the more I'm thinking Kovalik is heading towards a Doncaster. I don't understand it. I really don't.
2,000 metre horse.
We could be wrong, but like, I just think there was just such a clear opportunity. Hopefully he is going towards a Ranvet, but it's so close that I just don't see it happening. And I just think if I was Team Waller, that's exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be separating more. But Declan, what the fuck do I know?
Don't know.
All right, let's go to the William Reid Stakes. 1,200 metres weight for age, 23rd of March. 19 of the last 21 winners have finished in the top 3 in the last start prior. Imperatriz at $1.60. Who's taking that right now?
No.
Because I Wish I Win kicks off his campaign in this race.
Oh, $1.60. She if she starts shorter on the day, like let's say she starts at $1.40, like the risk between now and then is so significant that 20 cents isn't going to cut it. So keep your powder dry for this race. Look, if you're trying to get Imperatriz beat, I couldn't even talk you into something else.
I Wish I Win?
At $5?
He kicks off his campaign. The punters love him. Like, I could see him starting around that
350. True, yeah. Yeah, true. If you want more meat on the bone, then you're betting into him now because he'll start shorter.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
But am I doing that? No.
No, mate.
Absolutely not. Again, Sunshine in Paris, but she's $31, probably going elsewhere. All right. This bloody race, which has haunted me, the Australia Cup. 2,000 metres, weight for age at Flemington. Only 3 favourites have won the race since 2004, I believe. One of them was Cascadian last year. Gold Trip at $9. He does love Flemington, but I have a feeling, I don't know, are they taking him towards a Tancred? I don't know.
Got no clue.
Need a bit more info there.
No clue. Well, we've talked about him already. Riff Rocket's the bet.
Fuck, I'm so dirty I didn't get on him on Sunday.
Yep.
$26.
Riff Rocket is the bet. We know Mr. Brightside nearly won a Cox Plate, but he's a miler, whereas Riff Rocket might have the edge with a little bit of weight relief over 2,000 metres.
And Brightside, he's had one really good performance at Flemington, but I'm not sure. I think he likes railing at Moonee Valley and at Caulfield.
The Cox Plate at Moonee Valley was such a big factor for him.
Yeah.
Such a big factor for him. He just runs around like a greyhound.
Yep.
Whereas, the big long straight of Flemington, I don't think's up his alley. So, you've got Legato, Gold Trip, Pride of Jenny, but Riff Rocket at $11, I still think's a good bet.
Yeah, Legato, she's come in since I've had a look at this race. That's interesting. $7. Like, I think she was about 10s on the weekend. Like that, that's definitely doable. But she's a classy mare. But she doesn't win by far. Hard in your mouth sort of stuff for her. The other one, a tissue brained him in the Champions Stakes. Like, she's a 2,000 meter horse every day of the week. $13 is a big price for her. And yeah, Kovalik is still $26. So he won't be going there, I don't think. The Tancred 2,400 meter race, weight for age at Rosehill on the 30th of March. Gold Trip is your $9 favourite. Don't know where he's going. Like, if there's any drop of rain at Flemington for the Australia Cup, I think they'll take him there because he's just an easy bet there. I thought this was difficult. Really difficult.
Really difficult race. I think this might be a bit of a low quality race, to be honest, just with how the dates have worked out. If Gold Trip goes there, then yeah, like 2,400 metres weight for age.
Yep.
Particularly if I'm looking at the rest of the market, like Just Fine won that Metropolitan, but
fell in
lightweighted. He's a 2,000 metre horse. That William Haggis horse, Mujtabar, features again at 17s, but I don't know enough about that horse. I thought Carini was great resuming on the weekend.
Needs further.
Muramasa, our boy, he's $26, but weight for age isn't his jam yet.
No, and a drop of rain is not his jam.
He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it.
I think they'll just keep him in Melbourne, just get him more familiar with Flemington, that they want him on Melbourne Cup Day.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure Major Beale is resuming this weekend. I'm pretty sure. If you put a line through his spring campaign, he was pretty good elsewhere. He had one good run. He's $51. Like, he's a 2,400 meter horse. So, if you want to dive into that, but yeah, the Tancred doesn't really excite me this year.
I was finding a couple others like that as well. Numerian at 51s, like, I've seen worse bets at that price. And then the other one that's racing this weekend, who, if he comes out and does win, more Felons at 26s. I think that's a bet. And then obviously my old mate Explosive Jack at 21s.
Yeah, he can win that race at weight for age.
Yeah. I think he's better than people think.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking brained him in that Sydney Cup.
Wet deck. He 100% comes into it.
Yeah. Rosehill is the issue for him. I think he needs Randwick. And then the Vinery, 2,000 metre 3-year-old for the 3-year-old fillies, 30th of March. 6 of the last 13 winners were last start winners. Orchestral, mate.
Yeah, I think she might be better than Prowess. And if that's the case, then they're going to have an incredibly tough time beating her here. She's $3.20 at the moment. Zardozi is, I think, a better Oaks winner than what we've typically had.
Yep.
So she's a worthy opponent at sevens. They're the only two. They're the only two I could bet into at the moment.
Yeah. I thought if I was like making a case, like Autumn Angel, like, she beat Tropical Squale. She's $15. Like, Molly Nickers out to this distance, probably 17s, but they're the alternative form lines. They're probably the two best fillies out of Melbourne. But I agree, it's like the Kiwi mare is just, the Kiwi filly is just a bit too classy.
She's smart.
All right, so if you were to have like a March all up that we might share to our Ned's profile or something, anything off the dome? I'm going orchestral.
Yeah, orchestral, I think. Terrific bet. What else did we see in there?
I'm going to go orchestral into Sunshine in Paris in the Galaxy.
Yep.
Into, who was the one that I liked in the Coolmore? That was Valencia.
Riff Rocket in the Australian Guineas.
Riff Rocket in the Australia Cup.
Australia Cup?
Yep. Riff Rocket in the Australia Cup. So that 3-leg is $457 responsibly with the good people Neds.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's worth a $5.
Yeah. All right, let's do that. So if you want to get on that, follow Hutch on the Drift on our Ned's profiles, and you can jump on that. So that will be up. Oh, give it a little boost. $526. It's a big price.
Thanks to the good people at Neds for that free money.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So yeah, that's the way we're playing futures markets in March.
Can't wait. It's going to be busy. It's going to be busy month. I think we found some good ones, particularly after this weekend. We'll have a much clearer idea.
I agree. See you later.
See you, Drifters.